This is my plein air setup. This is something that, I've played around with a couple of different setups here. You don't have to put in a lot of money, especially when you're first starting out. A backpack, a support for your drawing or your painting. If you're just trying this out to see if you even like it. A lot of plein air painters, some people make their own pochade boxes, others, buy them from companies. So you can get into a lot of money, or like I said, you can make your own, or you can improvise for something on the cheap. So this here is, my easel. This flips closed for when I'm traveling. My support here, I can adjust that. Again, great place to have paper towels. I always carry trash bags with me, so I'm very conscientious about never, ever leaving trash around. I am an oil painter, so I deal with solvent. Even paper towels that are soaked with solvent go into a plastic baggie and they go home with me. I don't even throw them away in the trash cans in the parks. That they all go home with me so they can be disposed of properly. Part of the thing that you also need, whether you're outside painting, is some kind of protection from the light. If you can also work in the shade, but if you want that perfect spot, that perfect view out in the sun, then you do need an umbrella. And of course you need to dress accordingly. I usually have a big hat with a really wide brim. The reason why you would need an umbrella is if the sun is beating down on you and it's creating a glare on your palette and on your painting, you're not going to be able to see very well, to see your colors and to look at your values. So the umbrella attaches to the easel and it can be adjusted, back behind me, it could adjust it over to the side. And you find that in the 3 hours that you're painting, you may have to adjust your umbrella several different times just to accommodate for the sun as it is moving through the sky. And everything, when I tear this all down, fits into that one backpack and that one umbrella bag there. And my backpack is on wheels and it goes wherever. I've got the straps, so if I'm climbing around or, on the trails someplace, I can take that with me. And so it's, actually been a very good getup for me. And I've used it quite a bit. You can see it's a little banged up. I've got lots of paint all over it and such. Underneath the easel here, there is a hook, and I will either pull the handle up. I've got a rope here, and I will hook it to a little hook that's underneath this easel here. And what happens is this works as a weight. So that way, if it's a little bit windy, this will help keep my easel stable. I don't go out on really windy days unless I know there's a really good wind block. I know from experience, unfortunate experience, that it doesn't take much to catch your umbrella. It takes your entire easel with it. You lose all your solvent, not to mention then you are picking tons of grass and dirt out of your very wet painting. Having a way to weigh this all down to kind of keep it in place is very helpful. The must-haves when you go out plein air painting, well, let's just start with your person first. You gotta have a hat. You wanna be protected from the sun. You gotta have sunscreen. You gotta have bug spray. Nothing worse than, you can't be painting if you're swatting mosquitoes, every other second. You've got to wear the right kind of clothing. You want to protect yourself. If you are going out through tall grasses, like where I go with some of these parks around the deserted buildings, I tend to wear long pants, even in the summer, because of ticks. So first thing is your person. Good, sturdy shoes. Something that you can stand in for hours at a time, versus, whether you're standing in a park on a grassy surface, or if you're in an urban location, you're spending hours on concrete. As far as your gear, make sure that you've got your paint, that your palette is loaded up. Nothing worse than running out of blue when you're painting a lot of green. For mixing, you've got to have your solvent, paper towels. I always keep another kind of old towel I have, paint brushes. I have, I work on panels, a way to transport your wet paintings so that they are protected when you are done painting. Nothing worse than having a painting that's been destroyed after spending something like, 3 hours on it. So these are like some of the things, your umbrella, some kind of system for keeping yourself and the light off of your palette and your painting so that you can actually see. The other thing that I do when I'm doing nocturne paintings, I make sure I also have some kind of rain gear or some kind of a warm jacket when it gets cooler at night. I also have special lights that I put on top of this to direct just enough light on my painting and on my palette, so if I'm doing a nocturne painting, I can actually see what I am painting. And you can always get like music stand lights. That's like a cheaper way of achieving, a lighting system for doing nocturne night paintings.